In a small town, nestled at the edge of a vast green forest, there lived a little puppy named Max. Max was a golden-furred, floppy-eared ball of energy with bright, curious eyes that sparkled every time he saw something new. Unlike the other puppies in the town, who were content to chase butterflies or nap in the sun, Max loved adventures. He was always looking for something exciting to do, and his boundless curiosity often led him to new discoveries. Each day, Max would scamper through the meadows, his nose twitching as he sniffed the sweet scent of wildflowers, and his tail wagging in delight as he chased after grasshoppers. The townspeople adored Max and often laughed as they watched him tumble through piles of autumn leaves or leap joyfully over puddles after the rain. But above all else, there was one thing that captivated Max's attention more than anything else: the great mountain that stood tall and proud beyond the forest. Its peak was hidden behind a crown of clouds, and its slopes were covered with ancient trees and sparkling streams. The mountain seemed to touch the sky, and to Max, it looked like the most magnificent place in the world. Every evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountain and painted the sky with shades of orange and pink, Max would sit on a little hill near his home and gaze at the distant peak. He wondered what it would be like to stand on top of the mountain and look at the world below. He imagined the wind ruffling his fur, the birds soaring around him, and the feeling of being on top of the world. One crisp morning, as the dew still glistened on the grass and the birds chirped their cheerful songs, Max decided that today was the day. He would climb the mountain and discover its secrets. With a wag of his tail and a determined bark, he set off on his grand adventure. As Max trotted through the meadows, he met his friend Bella, a gentle grey rabbit with long floppy ears.
"Where are you going so early, Max?" Bella asked, twitching her nose.
"I'm going to climb the mountain,"
Max replied excitedly.
"I want to see what's at the top."
Bella's eyes widened. "It's a long way, Max. Are you sure you're ready?"
"I'm sure," Max barked. "I have to try."
With a hop and a skip, Bella decided to join Max for a little while. Together they made their way into the forest at the foot of the mountain. Sunlight filtered through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor. As they walked, they heard the gentle babble of a stream. Max ran ahead and found a family of ducks swimming in the clear water.
"Good morning, ducks,"
Max called out. "I'm climbing the mountain today."
The mother duck looked at Max kindly.
"Be careful, little one," she quacked. "The mountain is big, but if you keep going and don't give up, you'll reach the top."
Max thanked the ducks and continued on, Bella hopping by his side. Soon the path became steeper, and rocks jutted out from the earth like ancient bones. Bella decided it was time to turn back.
"Good luck, Max," she called. "I'll be waiting to hear all about your adventure."
Max waved his paw and pressed on, his heart full of courage. The air grew cooler as he climbed higher, and the trees gave way to ferns and moss-covered stones. Suddenly, Max heard a rustling in the bushes. Out popped Theo, a clever squirrel with a bushy tail.
"Why are you climbing the mountain, Max?" Theo chattered. "I want to see the world from the top," Max replied. Theo nodded. "There are many paths. Some are easy and some are hard. If you ever feel lost, just listen for the wind. It will show you the way."
With Theo's wise words in his heart, Max continued up the mountain. The path twisted and turned, sometimes narrowing so much that Max had to squeeze through gaps between rocks. Sometimes the trail disappeared beneath carpets of fallen leaves, and Max had to sniff and search to find it again.
As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Max came to a rocky cliff. It looked impossible to climb, but Max remembered what his friends had said. "Don't give up." He looked for portholes and carefully scrambled up, his little legs working hard. At the top of the cliff, he was rewarded with a breathtaking view of the valley below. He could see his town, the winding river, and the fields that stretched as far as his eyes could see.
Max felt proud, but he knew he still had farther to go. The mountain was much taller than he had imagined. The wind whistled through the trees above, and Max listened closely. He remembered Theo's advice and followed the sound of the wind, which seemed to whisper, "This way, Max." Max climbed higher and higher. past rocky outcrops and through patches of wildflowers that danced in the breeze. He met a family of mountain goats who showed him how to balance on narrow ledges and leap from rock to rock. He thanked them and pressed on, his heart full of determination. The air grew thinner and colder as Max neared the top. Dark clouds gathered overhead and a gentle rain began to fall. Max shivered, but he didn't turn back. He found a small cave and waited for the rain to pass, curling up to rest for a while. When the rain stopped, Max stepped out into the fresh, clean air. The sky was clear and the sun shone brightly on the mountain peak. Max could see the very top now, just a short climb away. With one final burst of energy, Max scrambled up the last rocky slope. At last, he reached the summit. He stood on the very top of the mountain, his fur ruffled by the wind, and looked out at the world below. It was even more beautiful than he had imagined. He could see forests, rivers, and fields stretching all the way to the horizon. Birds soared around him, and the clouds drifted gently by. Max felt like he was flying. As he stood on the mountaintop, Max realized something important. The mountain had seemed so big and impossible to climb, but step by step, with courage and determination, he had reached the top. He thought about his friends, the ducks, the squirrel, and the mountain goats, who had helped him along the way. He knew he couldn't have done it alone. Max took a deep breath and let out a joyful bark that echoed across the mountaintop. He was proud of himself, not just for reaching the top, but for never giving up, no matter how hard it got. After a while, Max began his journey back down the mountain. The way down was easier, and he took time to enjoy the sights and sounds of the mountain. He stopped to smell the wildflowers, watch the birds, and even play with the mountain goats once more. When Max finally returned to his town, the sun was setting, and the sky was painted with colours even more beautiful than before. Bella, Theo, and the ducks were waiting for him.
You did it, Max! Bella cheered, hopping with excitement. I knew you would, Theo said, his eyes twinkling.
The townspeople gathered to hear about Max's adventure. Max told them all about the climb, the friends he had made, and the view from the top of the mountain. As he finished his story, everyone cheered and clapped. Max curled up in his favourite spot that night, tired but happy. He knew that there would be many more adventures to come, but for now, he was content. He had climbed a mountain, made new friends, and discovered that with courage, kindness, and a little help, anything was possible. And so, the little puppy who climbed a mountain became a hero in his town. The mountain still stood tall and proud, but now, whenever Max looked at it, he remembered that even the biggest challenges could be overcome, one small step at a time. As the stars twinkled above, Max drifted off to sleep, dreaming of new adventures, new friends, and the endless possibilities that awaited him. And in his dreams, he was always climbing higher, reaching for the sky and discovering the wonders of the world. The end. Maine. But perhaps, in the gentle hush of the evening, as Max sleeps soundly, the story is not quite over. For every adventure leaves behind more than just memories. It plants the seeds for new dreams and new journeys. And as the children of the town listen to Max's tale, their own hearts fill with courage and wonder. Somewhere, a little girl named Emma hugs her stuffed bear a little tighter, thinking of the puppy who was brave enough to try. She decides that tomorrow she will try something new at school, even if it seems hard. And a boy named Lucas, who loves to draw, picks up his pencils and starts sketching the mountain, imagining himself climbing alongside Max. The grown-ups too are inspired by Max's story. They remember times when they faced big challenges and how a little courage and a little help from friends made all the difference. And so, the mountain becomes a symbol in the town, not just a place of beauty, but a reminder that dreams are worth chasing, and that even the smallest among us can do great things. From that day on, every time someone feels unsure or afraid, they remember Max, the puppy who climbed a mountain. They remember that it's okay to take small steps, to ask for help, and to keep going, even when the path is hard. And Max,
Well, Max keeps adventuring. Sometimes he chases butterflies across the meadow, sometimes he naps in the sun, and sometimes he sets off on new journeys, because the world is full of mountains, big and small. But no matter where he goes, Max always comes home, where his friends are waiting and where his story began. And every evening, as the sun sets behind the mountain, Max sits on his little hill, his heart full of dreams, ready for whatever tomorrow may bring. Because once you've climbed a mountain, you know you can do anything. And that is the story of Max, the puppy who climbed a mountain. A story about courage, friendship, and the magic of believing in yourself.